Shalom. All praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the elders of GMS. Much love to you brothers that's come by with all faith and honesty. Alright, we almost out this thing. Just keep faith. And there's just another update for you brothers. And I'm going to start at Psalms 137 and 8. This is Psalms 137 and 8. And it says, or we'll start at 1. It says, by the rivers of Babylon there sat down, yea, we wept when we remembered Zion. Okay, who's Zion? You Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans spread out through the four corners of the planet. The Most High is showing you His love by giving you back who you are today. Okay, and it says, we hanged our harps upon the willows in the midst thereof, for there they came. For there they that carried us away captive required of us a song, and they that wasted us required us mirth, saying, sing us one of those songs of Zion. That's the same way when they took us over on slavery, okay? They took us over on slavery and they brought us over here to serve captivity, and they had the Negroes singing on the boat, okay? And singing and dancing so the slaves could get exercise, okay? So they wouldn't lock up down in those gals or the bows of the boat, okay? And it says, how shall we sing the Lord's song in a strange land, which is America? And if I forget thee, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget her cunning. And if I do not remember thee, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. All of this right here with this World War III, all of this prophecies is to remember Zion, okay? Because the kingdom of heaven belongs unto you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because the promise went to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, and it says, remember, this is verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundations thereof. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dashes thy little ones against the stones. Alright, so all of this folly the Most High is bringing upon this place is for all of the wickedness that is done unto Israel. Alright, and for the world to see that the Most High loves us. And He's always loves us, and He's going to continue on loving us, okay? That's why He's going to make us perfect, okay? Everybody seems to want the end of the world. The end of the world is only going to be beneficiary to the Israelites, because they're going to be made perfect. The rest of you heathens are going to still be unperfect and still be under judgment. You're going to be judged according to this book right here, the law of the Lord, okay? The law of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So let's play this story.
The right to a preemptive nuclear strike against China.
They're talking about going at China, okay? So now you can see how the folliness of this place. How much money we owe China, and then we want to go at them, okay? So let's watch this.
Is now part of U.S. law. That's thanks to the National Defense Authority. The right to a preemptive nuclear strike against China is now part of U.S. law. That's thanks to the National Defense Authorization Act. The Pentagon's also ordered a thorough review of when and how the U.S. could strike at the network of tunnels believed to hold Beijing's atomic arsenals. We better get into this right now. James Corbett joins us live on the program, editor of a Japan-based news website. Mr. Corbett, a pleasure to see you. Thanks for coming on so quickly. The U.S. government is operating on the assumption that there are 3,000 miles worth of tunnels crisscrossing China, allegedly containing 3,000 nuclear warheads. Do you believe it?
Well, I'm not even sure that the U.S. government really believes it. This is really on the back of a study that was commissioned out of Georgetown University last year, or 2 years ago now, that found that in this network of tunnels that we do know exist, and we can see from satellite telemetry, we do know that these tunnels exist, and it's just sheer speculation about what exists within them at this point. U.S. intelligence estimates puts the Chinese nuclear arsenal something like 300. But this study out of Georgetown in 2011 estimated that it could house as many as 3,000 nuclear warheads.
Which we know they have
as
more.
Part of the NDA 2013, they're basically saying that now the Stratcom is going to have to commission a report to identify the potential problems involved in this. And
man, it's like that movie. If you guys, I hate to cut it off. It's like that movie, you know, where a gunfight happens and the two people run out of bullets. Or you might have a gunfight and the other guy's counting the guy's bullets. if they're shooting like a 6-shooter or something, where you got 17, or you got 7, 8 shots in a handgun, or you got 9 rounds, 1 in the chamber. Alright, so it's pretty much the same thing on this note. Why in the world are you gonna tell your enemy how many bullets you got? Okay, even though that it don't take many of these bullets to do damage, but in the same sense, it's a pissing match. They're having a pissing match with these nuclear weapons. Okay, so that's what they're saying. Who can have more? They say 300 or they say 3,000, but that's undercutting it. They probably got maybe about 12,000, 10,000. Who knows? Okay.
Whether or not they'll be able to actually confront this with conventional or even nuclear forces in the event that they actually need to
Indeed,
take
they're
out
certainly assessing how big are these tunnels, how many warheads are in this tunnel. Previous reports had said 300, not 3,000. Now, we've got most of America's ballistic submarine fleet operating in the Pacific. We've also got more U.S. ships moving in that area. The Pentagon, all the while, promising to contain China and now planning for what they say a possible nuclear strike. Well, that's not exactly going to help already strained relations, is it?
It really isn't. I don't think that we have to look at this report in the context of they're going to move in with a nuclear strike right at this point, but I think it has to be seen as a wider part of U.S. nuclear policy that's been stretching out for decades now, trying to come up with ways to justify the existence of some of the U.S.'s existing nuclear arsenal and looking for ways to create new weapons. So, for example, we have the B-61-11 nuclear bunker busters with a 400 kiloton yield that they've been harboring and talking about for the better part of a decade now in relation to Iran and trying to bust through into Iran's underground nuclear facilities or alleged nuclear facilities.
So this gives you a clue. Israel wants to talk about Iran's nuclear weapons, and the United States delivered unto them. When they say bunker busters, you think, oh, regular missiles. No, those are nuclear weapons. With you said like a 4, I don't know how much yield that they have, but those are weapons. How you gonna tell somebody, oh, we don't want you to have nuclear weapons, but you're about to strike that country with nuclear weapons? They're not striking. They don't even have them yet, supposedly, but this Israel so-called has them and is going to use them on another place. That's against regulations of the nuclear contract. You see the hypocrisy in here?
Now they're just shifting that rhetoric over to the Asia-Pacific as part of this Asia-Pacific pivot. I think to a certain extent this is just to justify the existence of the U.S. arsenal and to make sure that things like the New START, the Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty, basically gets scuttled before it really gets off the ground. And there's a lot in this new NDAA that really seeks to undermine the president's ability, should he ever want to actually reduce the nuclear stockpile. So I think the Congress is definitely trying to get their foot in the door and stop any types of arms reductions before it can actually be implemented.
There are certainly some that really say that the American president is powerless when it comes to going head-to-head with the military-industrial complex. Certainly at this point, though, we've been getting reports that there have been some rather peculiar high-altitude jet forays between China and Japan. Some Japanese jets tailing Chinese jets, basically playing some high-altitude games of cat and mouse, possibly reigniting another territorial dispute. They've been having disputes for quite some time now, certainly over some particular islands. Is it possible that those two could get involved in something slightly more intense?
It certainly could, and of course the more bellicose that the U.S. becomes against China, the more safe Japan will feel in either threatening or responding to Chinese aggression. So I think it really only serves to put a match next to this powder keg that is the Asia-Pacific region, especially now that really this is heating up and that the American attention is turning here. I think we're going to see more and more of this type of these types of situations coming along that could justify even further military intervention. So we have to look at these types of nuclear rhetoric that's coming out right now, not necessarily as an intent to strike anytime.
Yeah, I'm wanted to look at something real quick. Spirit just jumped on me to look at this, so I'm gonna look at it. Hold on. I'm looking up contractors. Oh my spelling, I'm just trying to. I was just looking up the Jewish contractors, and I'll probably have to find that on a later video.
Soon, but certainly is something to keep our eyes on as this rhetoric continues to ratchet up.
Well, as you well know, Mr. Corbett, the U.S. has been increasing its military presence in the Asia-Pacific region for quite some time now, certainly over the past 2 years, increasing it in somewhat called fairly drastic measures. Now a report of them examining possibly 3,000 miles loaded with nuclear warheads crisscrossing China. I'm sure certainly at the very least conspiracy theorists are going to have a field day with this. James Corbett, of the editor of a Japan-based news website, the Corbett Report, thank you for coming on today.
And it's something to where they wouldn't even acknowledge conspiracy theorists, but now they say them that's like the daily thing. Okay? Conspiracy theories started on the internet. Not started, I'm not going to say started on the internet, but they thrived on the internet. Now, all these major news networks are coming to the internet because that's where people are seeking for the truth. Also called truth seekers. Alright? But let's get into another script. This is Revelations 18:6. This is Revelations 18 verse 6. And it says, we'll start at 4. And it says, I have heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins. What's come out of her? Come out of her ways, come out of this faggotry, come out of this wickedness, come out of her, my people, come out of the ways of Cesare Borgia, come out of this Tammuz worship, this sun worship, okay, come out of all this folly. And it says, that ye be not partakers of her sin, and ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High has remembered her iniquities. What iniquities? Slavery, the destruction of the indigenous people, okay, the rape, rob, and murder of the whole world and its resources. And it says, iniquities, reward her as she has rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she hath filled, fill her double. How much has she glorified herself and lived deliciously? So much torment and sorrow give her. Because America has been a jewel in the world, man. It's been a crowning jewel in the world in the Most High's hands. And it says, how much as she has glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I shall sit a queen, and am no widow, and see no sorrow. Therefore her plagues come in one day, death, mourning, famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Lord who judgeth her. With that, I'm going to say shalom.